Hi, I'm Crystal, and today we're going to make a super easy mini album from some unloved boxed cards. So I've got 5 commercial greeting cards that came in a box set and 4 matching envelopes. And then I've got 4 hinges. So the envelopes, I have folded the flap back. So, the envelope comes like this, and I've folded the flap all the way back so that you've got a nice pocket from the envelope and a flap to attach it into this mini album. So I'm going to start by attaching the flap to the back of a greeting card for each of my 4 envelopes. Then I'm going to use these 4 paper hinges to attach the cards to one another, and that is going to build out this mini album. So it's card, envelope, card, envelope, card, envelope, card. Although you could obviously use any number of cards or any number of envelopes, this just happens to be the assortment that I have. So the flap is folded back and is attached to the card in front of it. That's how we're going to start. And here's a graphic of how all the pieces fit together. Although obviously you're going to use whatever supplies you have on hand. And I've got these boxed cards primarily because my father-in-law had quite a supply of greeting cards that he did not use. And he passed away a couple of years ago. We've gradually been cleaning out. So most of the cards I sent off to a seafarers mission, where greeting cards are a very highly requested item. But these cards did not meet their criteria. I just had a few left. But I mailed off, I think, 10 pounds of greeting cards. Hopefully somebody is making good use of those. But I thought this was a fun project to use up some of the rest. So I'm covering the flap of the envelope with the glue stick. And I'm going to attach this to the greeting card, set back just a little bit from the edge. I didn't want this to get caught up in the hinge between the cards. I want to use the envelope as an extra page in the mini. And I'm just pressing that glue stick down so that the flap is attaching the envelope to the card. Then, of course, the envelope is a fun pocket inside the mini album. Now I'm going to attach all the rest of the envelopes. We'll speed through that because it's just the same process. Although the last card in the set, I didn't have an envelope to attach at the back, so we're going to end with a plain card. Now that I've done that, I'm going to use the hinges to attach the back of one card to the front of the next. So this is just copy-weight paper. It's half a sheet that I've cut into 4 strips. They aren't even all the same size. And the half a sheet happened to be the same size as my greeting cards. You may want to adjust if your cards are a slightly different size. But once I've done this scoring or folding, I'm just going to use this hinge to attach these 2 cards together, back to front. I'm just going to cover the paper with glue stick and press half the hinge onto one card and half the hinge onto the next card. So it turns out that's kind of hard to do on camera, so I'm afraid I get a little bit off frame as I'm holding this up to my face, trying to get it lined up. But I'm literally just pressing that hinge down and then holding the cards up together to make sure that it's straight and not all wonky, and then pressing down the hinge. That's it. So once I've done that for these first 2 cards, I'm going to go on and use the other 3 hinges to attach the rest of the cards. We'll speed through that because it's repetitive. And then that is all of the mechanics of building this mini album. So I thought this was a fun way to use up some boxed cards that I might not otherwise use. I have plenty of handmade greeting cards to mail, but these cards now have a second life as a fun mini album. So here we see the inside of these blank cards. And then if you flip it over, the other side of the accordion, we've got a back of a card and then an envelope that makes a page and a pocket. Oops, messy gluing. Then we've got the front of the next card, and then we've got another envelope as a page and a fun pocket. And then we've got the front and the envelope, and then the very last front and envelope and card. So I just thought that was a fun project. It was 10 minutes beginning to end and gave new life to these unloved greeting cards. Thanks for joining me today.